Howdy folks. Today we're going to talk about knives and flashlights. Alright, so I've had several people who may or may not be into knives, weaponry, all this stuff, preparedness, or people who are in the beginning stages of preparedness. I hate the term prepping, but people who are starting to understand that there's a need for certain things. There's a tool for every job and a job for every tool. This happens to be a bunch of tools here, knives and flashlights. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I think I'm going to start off with the flashlights here, because I've had several questions since the last little everyday carry video. So let's bring these over here. Now these are flashlights that I use a lot, but we're going to talk about them. So I want to get this out of the way first. I do a lot of hunting. Everybody who knows me knows we do a lot of deer hunting, things like that. So and camping, which brings us out into the wilderness or dark places quite often. So in the past, I've had, I was looking for suggestions on these headlamps, and a lot of people were telling me to try this P-Tac, or I forgot exactly the brand name, but I mean, you could see this thing. It takes 2 AAA batteries. This light has been complete garbage from day one. I will never, ever buy another one of these, no matter what. I've had a couple of them, and both of these things are garbage. So I go and I bought one of these, this little Energizer piece of garbage from Walmart, and this has been one of the greatest headlamps I've ever owned. It's got two positions, a lower and a bright. And let me tell you something, this thing is indestructible. I have about 6 of these things now. I bought one for each of the kids, and I keep one in a couple vehicles. I keep them in the camper. These things have been great. Use them hunting. I can swear by these things, and inexpensive too. So that's a great light. And like I said, it was at Walmart. It's called the Energizer. It has little adjustability. It takes 3 AA batteries. Pretty easy to install. But I mean, I never use this adjustability. I always keep this thing right on my forehead. But for hands-free, stuff on a campsite, or walking to your tree stand, things of that nature, or changing a flat tire on the side of the road at night, this thing is great. I swear by it. I'd buy more. Now, about 19 years ago, I started with the state in law enforcement, and I purchased through a lot of people were swearing by this Streamlight Strion at the time. This light for me has been this first model has been garbage. It's a rechargeable incandescent. I mean, you can see the brightness there. This is it's not fully charged at the moment, but it doesn't get much brighter than that, okay? But I dealt with it for many years. I even had to switch the battery in here a couple times, and they had a modification to their button on. And all this does is just push on, let go, and it's off. I mean, it served its purpose. It's been dropped several times. It's, like I said, it's about 19 years old now. I can't say this one is any good. I never really liked it, okay? But size-wise, it's nice, fits in your hand nice. If you had to smash somebody in the face, it works perfect. But I have since replaced it. It still gets some use here around the house, but it's more of a backup than anything. So I had replaced that with this, okay? This is the same thing. This is the Streamlight Strion, but it's a LED. And this one is about... This one, I believe, I'm going to say this thing is about 9 to 10 years old already. But look at the difference. All right, this also has strobe, which is great. It's slightly longer than the other one. You can see that much difference. So I mean, if you had to smash somebody in the face or something like that, you know, you blind them first with the strobe and then you smash them in the face if you had to get away. This is a great light. I use this thing every single night now. I don't bring it to work anymore, but I use this every single night. When we take our dog out at night, you know, listen, I've trapped and killed 84 skunks now in like 4 or 5 years. So the last thing we want is for our dog to get sprayed by a skunk. So, you know, even out of revenge. So I'll take this right outside real quick. I'll scan the area, scan the perimeter, make sure there's nothing crawling around that my dog's gonna, you know, get into right away. We got foxes out here. We got, you know, rabid dogs, all this other stuff. Nobody seems to put their dog on a leash but me. But anyway, I use this every single night. This is a rechargeable. It comes with a small charger, just plugs in, charges relatively fast. This has been a great light, and this has been dropped several times too. But this has really been a great light. Now, I would carry this periodically for my everyday carry. I didn't grab it, but I have a small holster that this just slides in just like that, and it has a belt loop on it, and I would keep it, you know, right at, you know, where I can grab it with either hand. So this has been fantastic. I would recommend buying one of these if you have a purpose for it. The days of the big mag lights, I think, are over. Those lights were great. They served their purpose. You know, you could bludgeon somebody to death with it if you had to, you know, in protection. But this light, it shines, got a nice beam, shines really far. Couple 100 feet you could see with ease. But so after we did that first EDC carry video with my buddy Joey, I did some research and I took a chance on this small stream light. Let me see if I can read the number on here. I gotta put my quick deploy cheaters on. So this is also a stream light. It's called the Micro Stream. The serial number is I don't know if that would be the same for all of them, but 17161410521. So I happen to just mail order this. I searched it. This takes a AAA, I believe it's AAA battery, I think. Let's see. Whoop, that's the wrong side. Oh, all right. There it goes. But this light has been great. I've been running this light, I don't know, about four or 5 months. Yeah, one single AAA battery, and this has been the original battery still. And I mean, this light isn't as potent as the last light I showed you, but you could see the brightness is pretty good in comparison. All right. It shoots, like I could see at night, this thing will shoot, I'm going to say about, you know, close to 30 feet, you can identify something. I only need to, you know, look in cells, closets. When I carry this thing for everyday carry, I'm using this thing in close proximity 99% of the time. This kind of disappears in my pocket. You know, it takes up no space. You don't feel it. It's not an encumbrance. I recommend this thing. I really do. For those of you who are gonna like just grab something to leave in your glove box or something like that, I would recommend this. And I like the idea that it's got a replaceable AAA battery instead of rechargeable. We do keep spare batteries here at the house. I keep a few in my packs in the car. But I highly recommend this. This thing has been awesome so far. And it's got a double clip. So you can use this as a pocket clip, okay? Or you can slide this on the brim of your hat and use it as a headlamp, hands-free. So I like that aspect too. Anytime I can utilize a clip system like this, I'm switching over rather than using sheaths anytime I can. But that's enough on the lights. So I've had a couple questions about what knives should I buy and that sort of thing. Um, I'm going to kind of get into it as we go. I'm going to go along here, just kind of give you a description of what I have here. This is by no means my entire collection. I probably own a couple hundred knives, maybe more. I got them strategically located all over the place in different bags and vehicles and drawers, kits, gut kits, all this and that. So I don't have enough table space for all that. So this is just a basic display here. So I'm going to start off with this here. This is a gut tool, or in the correction system, we call this a suicide cut tool. If you had a sheet or something like that, you get right in there without hurting the skin, without cutting anybody, and you could cut away a rope, a seatbelt, whatever. This is actually a very handy blade, and you utilize it with your two fingers. What we use it for, why I own this thing, is for hunting purposes. I'm able to open up, we call it unzipping, the belly to expose the intestine, and I can actually utilize this to go right up through the rib cage and open up the cavity, chest cavity, to remove the heart and lungs in that area. But this thing works awesome. But I have since gotten away from this, and believe it or not, I'm utilizing this Outdoor Edge swing blade. Okay, I think it's called swing blade or switchblade, swing blade, whatever. So what this is now, it's not the best steel on the planet. I mean, it's pretty sharp right now, but this steel tends to dull up quite a bit. I don't know if it says what kind of steel it is. It's just Aussie 8 stainless patented. I mean, it's garbage steel, but the reason I switched to this, now I almost rarely utilize this blade part. What I end up doing is I switch it over to this here. I absolutely love this side. Now this is very sharp. I've sharpened it several times. And that takes the place of this, okay? And I use this on anything from deer to my rabbits, squirrels, anything I need to just get under the skin and open up to expose the chest and gut cavity. This has been a game changer in a way. As I get older, I mean, I used to utilize a fillet knife. I used to take this fillet knife and do every single rabbit I've ever done in my life up until this came out. So I still do utilize this, and I tried to upgrade it to this one. This is a Rapala, thinking this one was a little better quality, had a better handle, but what I like is this blade is a little bit flexible, and that kind of helps when you're processing game. Okay, these are both designed as fillet knives. These are a small, I think it's 6-inch blade fillet knife, and they work fantastic for that. But I also am able to utilize this knife because of the flexibility, to do the back straps in the deer. And you just kind of hold the back strap up, and as it's hanging, you just keep working it around, and as you're doing it, it's flexing a little bit, so you're getting all that maximum amount of meat off of the carcass at that stage of the game. This one has a wooden handle, comes with a leather sheath, as you can see right there. This one has a better grip handle. If I could take this handle and throw it on this knife, I'd have something here. This one doesn't really have the bendability of that one, flexibility. So, but still a good knife. I still am able to utilize this for doing rabbits. But for the rabbits, between this and poultry shear has been a game changer for me. I've gone to that, and I even use that on deer too, for sometimes opening up the pelvis, and rabbit pelvis also, and the chest of the rabbit. So as I get older, I'm utilizing more things. All right, so moving on. This here is a Mora. This is utilized mostly for bushcraft. I really like this blade because of one, it's been proven. Cody Lundeen from Dual Survival kind of introduced me to this. It's not the greatest steel, but it is. This one's a carbon blade made in Sweden, so this will actuate a spark with a ferro rod pretty good. And the weight of this knife is almost nothing. You put this thing in the sheath, and I mean, it's a super sharp blade, but this thing weighs nothing compared to some of these other knives. All right, I just had a massive interruption from my kids. All right, so getting into this next knife here, this is an old one. Now, I don't know if this is a K-bar or what, but this is a little bit different blade. So you have a long straight edge here and then a shorter one here, which is more for dagger or straight spear purposes. I keep this around. Number one, I love the quality. This thing is fantastic. It's got a tang that goes all the way through with a really nice hardened leather handle. It hardened over the years. The reason I'm keeping this around is if I ever go pig hunting or something like that, you can really stick this down and reach the heart or vitals. So this is a really nice knife. This would probably be designed more for just stabbing combat purposes, military style. I mean, it is a USMC. I mean, it's a US. It says M3 RCCO, so I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to research the literature on that. But really nice knife. I have several similar to that. Now getting into, everyday carry and folding knives. I have 3 folding knives here. This is just a little piece of garbage I got for free at some point, I think through the NRA. But we utilize this. It's a little locking blade. We just utilize this for opening packages and stuff like that around the house. It's a handy little thing. It's like I said, it's kind of garbage. You're not gonna do much with this thing. It's a little too small, but it shows you that knives come in several shapes and sizes. Now this here, this is another lock blade. This is by Buck. I just took this out of my hunting bag here, my gut bag. I keep this in because I did hundreds and hundreds of deer with this thing. I could do an entire moose with this blade right here. This also, in my lifetime, now this one says Buck 112 Plus USA. This is a hunter model. I got to clean this up a little bit from sitting. It's getting a little oxidation here, but this is probably the best built and most handy knife I've ever owned in my life. This blade right here. I've done squirrels, fish, deer, hundreds of deer, rabbits. I used to use this exclusively for everything, and all the way up to a 900-pound steer. I had to go help a couple guys years ago. We did 2 900-pounders, and I utilized this for quite a bit of that preparation. All we did was prep those steer for the butcher. So we had to skin them, gut them, and cut them in half. Actually, we quartered them, but we had to use a spine saw and go down and everything. But I use this a lot. I've even helped out with pigs with this. I could do an entire moose with just this blade right here. I stopped carrying this thing because it comes with this leather sheath. And over time, these sheaths tend to deteriorate and rip. And I had a buddy who had this identical knife, and he lost his in the woods the day I was with him. We searched and searched and searched. We couldn't find his, unfortunately. But these do rip. But I keep this in this sheath, but I don't carry this anymore because the new Buck knives do not give you this steel. This knife single-handedly holds the best edge out of all the knives that I own. this Buck 110 Hunter. Beautiful quality. Nothing ever loosened up on this thing. I carried this for years and years and years. This thing is beautiful. I even process the meat on the table. You know, if I go down to you know, Costco and buy meat, you know, I'll use this to process it. Even to this day, something similar to this. But anyway, had this for a long, long time. What an awesome, awesome knife. So, and it's not for sale. Now, this is my replacement for that. This is a Benchmade. I bought this from my buddy Travis down in West Virginia. At the time, he gave me a law enforcement discount. He's a great guy. He's a gunsmith, and now practically a famous barbecuer. Awesome. He smokes meat and all that stuff. But this Benchmade has been really great. It's similar in size. The quality is great. It's a lot lighter than this Buck. This Buck has some weight to it because of all the brass and everything on it. But this has been a great replacement. And one of the best things I like about this, I like that it has a separate lock here. I also like that it's spring assist. It's not a switchblade. It just helps it out is what happens. And it has the clip system here. Like I said, I don't have a sheath for this. I utilize this clip. That is a game changer for me. I love it because it's quick deploy. If I need to open a package or you know, I've butchered many animals with this too. It's not quite as good as that one in that aspect. This is more of a drop point, whereas this one you could see the difference in the, I don't know where I could put it where you could see it better, maybe. But you could see how pointy that buck knife is, which is actually handy when you're poking through hides and stuff of that nature. I know a lot of people don't like, you know, killing and processing animals, but you know what? Get over it, because in life, unless you're eating grass, but even if you're eating grass, the farmers that are growing that, they're killing all kinds of animals to grow that grass. So get over it. But anyway, this knife here, very high quality. It's been great. It's very light. It slips right in my pocket. The clip has been phenomenal. I've never even came close to losing this. This has never slipped out of my pocket. Most of the time, I don't even lock it. So, but the blade has never even, like, it's got such a nice, let's say, I'm going to call it trigger. There's a delay before you get the assist. So, and at the same time, I'm pushing it with my thumb, okay? But this has been a fantastic knife for what I'm doing. And I'm beating the crap out of this. You can even see, like, the tip is starting to get a little rounded off, a little dull from, you know, I hate to say it, but I do use it for a screwdriver from time to time. But this is a decent steel. I don't think this steel is as good as that buck knife, in my opinion. But this one is, it says CPM 830V. It's got a patent number here. It says Osborne. But, I mean, the steel is good. Second only to that buck knife. Now, I brought this one out here. I wasn't sure if I was gonna, but this here is a drop point that I made years ago out of an old file. I was just tinkering around, you know, seeing what my ability was, what I could do. Utilize a little blacksmithing, had to anneal it and all that. And just a little point, a little tip: don't anneal any knives in your house using your oven. Your wife won't like that. Mine didn't. So I got in trouble. But anyway, I made this, put my own handle on here. I actually got this wood from a buddy of mine who he actually collects some wood and he uses it for projects. He thought this would look nice, and it does. And it's been holding up really well. I'm still shaping this blade a little bit. When I get time, probably after I retire, I still gotta grind some off of this and finish the edge. And I'm probably gonna reshape this a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I put the brass dowels in here, and glued this handle also. And this has been holding up real nice. I mean, granted, I'm not carrying it yet, but one day when I get a chance, I'll probably make a Kydex sheath for this, and when I finish it up. But this has been pretty nice. It's just a project. So, getting away from those knives, if you had to, and I love the idea of these, the downside of these multi-tools, now it's fantastic that you got the pliers, right? So the downside of this, and some people are going to call me nuts, but these blades are so dang sharp, like razor sharp, almost too sharp. You got to be very careful using these things. I know the first time I opened one of these years ago, it was a buck tool I got as a gift, and of course I was drinking at the time. I don't drink anymore, but I sliced my finger like quickly with that thing. But man, what a beautiful blade they put on them. But having said all that, it's a handy tool. Like if you're gonna keep something in your vehicle, you just want something to have. I recommend one of these. But I would do it alongside something of this nature. Even these buck tool, great thing to just have if you need something quick. These multi-tools are handy. Screwdriver tips, both Phillips and flat. And some of these you have a scissor, and awl is the most single tool you should have, second only to a knife itself. This also has a saw blade, which is super sharp. I believe this is it. Nope, that ain't it. This is it. That saw blade is super sharp and works very well. Now, I haven't cut anything with this model. This is my newest one. This is a serrated blade, which is fantastic. You got a little nail file on the side there. All these blades do lock open, but like I said, you be very careful when you use them. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't like these little scissors, but man, these things are very handy in the field. Very handy, believe me. I love them. I probably wouldn't own one of these without having that scissor on there. So these unlock by, you see you got this little lever here. You just pull it. I mean, you could do it any way you want, but just to show you, that's how that works. You got the lever there and on that side for that side. Great tool to have. Great tool, handy, durable. I mean, you can, it's got a cutter here for cable. I mean, anything, wire, if you're setting snares, something like that. But some of you ladies out there, I mean, I don't necessarily recommend having a knife for self-defense. But if you think you're going to get into a combat situation, I mean, you're going to need something like this. Although some of these would be illegal to carry in a vehicle. If you ever got pulled over and, you brandished that or somebody saw that, you would probably get in trouble for that. There are laws and regulations. I mean, the stupid government overregulates every stupid thing. But, for like self-defense, I don't necessarily recommend having a knife for self-defense, because any tool or weapon you have can be used against you. You're almost better off keep a hammer in a car if you need something for self-defense. Even a carpenter's claw hammer, ball peen hammer, something like that. Pepper spray is a great thing to have, and I don't know what restrictions are on that really, but we have some here for my wife and even the kids if they need it. But self-defense is almost a whole nother category. But all these knives, really aside from this homemade one, are being utilized for one thing or another. some of these I've used for years. Some of them are brand new, are just getting put into rotation. But I have other ones of these and they've been fantastic. That's why I bought new ones. And actually this model right here, I bought for both my kids. So, but that's it. That sums it up. Again, for my friend who asked most of the questions and a couple other people, I mean, I would stick to a little locking blade, something like that, if you're going to keep in the car as a tool in combination with a multi-tool. Hope that answers some questions. That's just the dog jumping down. Thanks for watching. Share and like the channel.